Hi everybody, my name is Tristan. I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel and my first video. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I've never made a video before. I wanted to start this channel to document my journey that I'm going on, my health, fitness, weight loss, that type of stuff. I'm kind of going through something that I'm going to share a little bit later that I thought maybe other people might like to follow my journey and see how it goes. A little bit about myself. I'm 36 years old. I'm not married. I don't have kids. This knowledge will come into play later on when I tell you about my story. I work full-time for a well-known insurance company. I have a side hustle that I work on a lot where I buy clothes at the thrift store and flip them online on sites such as Poshmark and eBay for a profit. I do very well. I also am in school. I'm on a hiatus right now, but I will start back in June for my business degree, hoping to specialize in human resources. So that's like the logistics about me. Sorry, I keep looking away. This is my first video, so I'm very nervous. Okay, so about me, I love animals. I have a dog and 2 cats, and I love sports. I'm a big baseball fan, football, soccer. Basketball is okay. I don't really watch it. I can tolerate it. I'm very much into like metaphysical, chakra, crystals, manifestation stuff, and I love my family. I have a rather big extended family, I would say. I don't know if it's big. Some people will say it's big, some people maybe not, but we're just all very close. We all basically live in the same city, but that's neither here nor there right now. Okay, so about what I'm going to talk about, this may get a little bit graphic about women's menstruation and bleeding. So if that's something that you are uncomfortable with, or maybe don't want to watch, or you don't want your kids to hear about it, maybe skip this video or my channel altogether, maybe. I don't know, because I'm going to be talking a lot about it. So just recently I was diagnosed with endometrial cancer. How that came about, let's start from when I first started my period when I was around 10 or 11. I was in 5th grade. I never have had regular periods. It's always been irregular. I would go months and months without having it, and then I would have really awful ones. And when I started actually going to the gynecologist, they would all just blame it on my weight. You're overweight, so your periods aren't going to be regular, which I get it. I am morbidly obese. That's true. Later on, I found out, or I figured out on my own, that I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. And so I knew that I had it way before I was diagnosed, but then I was diagnosed by an endocrinologist. But for as long as I can remember, I've never had regular periods. I've never been on just a regular cycle like other women are. And every doctor, like I said, just blamed it on the PCOS or blamed it on my weight. And a few doctors tried to just put me on metformin, which would help with the PCOS symptoms, or they would give me norethindrone. I can't really say it. It's Provera, which would either stop your period or bring your period on. And that's basically all the help that I got with my period. One of the worst times I remember was back in 2008 when I was living in Alabama, and I didn't have health insurance, and I was bleeding for weeks and weeks at a time. And then I was passing huge blood clots, some the size of my hand. So I went to the hospital, and all they did was give me Provera. Because I didn't have insurance, they couldn't really help me. After that, I think it was just kind of irregular all the time, but then I want to say 2017, 2018, it got really bad to where I was bleeding almost every single day. And it was really hindering my lifestyle at the time. I had to carry extra clothes with me. I couldn't like do certain things because I knew that it would bring on the bleeding. So then in 2019, November 2019, I went to get a physical, and I had a doctor, she's actually a nurse practitioner of my doctor, who listened to me. When I told her that something wasn't right, I'm bleeding all the time, she listened and she cared. She said that she thought that I had fibroids. So she sent me to, she put in for me to do a ultrasound. The problem was I had just quit my job and I did not have insurance beyond a couple days after that, so I couldn't do the ultrasound. So I said, okay, I'll just put it off and do it, when I get a job and, I get my insurance. Well, then come 2020, we all know what happened in 2020. So I wasn't able to get a steady, good job with insurance until September of 2020. So I started my job with the insurance company in September. I scheduled my physical for November, and I saw the same nurse practitioner. She was upset that I did not go do my ultrasound last year like I was supposed to. So she sent me to do an ultrasound again. I went and did the ultrasound as she told me, because I knew at this point that something was still wrong, and she was worried and I was worried and everybody's worried. So let me go do this ultrasound. So I went and did the ultrasound, and it came back that my endometrial lining was thickened. They called it hyperplasia, endometrial hyperplasia. I can't remember exactly how thick it was. I'd have to look, but it was pretty thick compared to what it's supposed to be. So that gets sent to the nurse practitioner. She's like, hey, it's not fibroids, but there's something wrong. You have hyperplasia. You need to go do a biopsy. So she scheduled me a biopsy with a gynecologist. And so probably like a month later, I did the biopsy in the doctor's office with no pain meds, nothing. It was just really bad, excruciating pain for a good 5 minutes. Then it kind of went dull. So yeah, I did the endometrial lining biopsy. That was, I remember dates because all of this leading up to the diagnosis is very vivid. January 9th, I did the biopsy. It came back that I had complex endometrial hyperplasia with atypia. So there's different levels of hyperplasia. There's simple hyperplasia with atypia, without atypia, complex hyperplasia with atypia, without atypia. I had basically the last stage of hyperplasia before the cancer diagnosis. So that gynecologist referred me to another gynecologist who also works in oncology. So I went to see that doctor. It was two doctors, him and her, and they went over, what hyperplasia is, what atypia is, what all of this means, and that basically, like I said, I was one step away from a cancer diagnosis. So at this point, I'm very overwhelmed. I'm scared. They're talking about a hysterectomy and surgery, and because of COVID, there's nobody there with me, so I'm just scared and alone. And so they scheduled for me to have a DNC surgery with a hysteroscopy and insert a Mirena coil, birth control coil, inside me. That was performed on March the 2nd. That was okay. I was under anesthesia. I was home that same day, outpatient. Everything went good with that. Then the next day, on a Wednesday, I remember, the doctor called and said that it was cancer. And I knew that something was wrong. I'm sorry, I might start crying because it's very emotional. I knew that something was wrong because she was calling me at 7:30 at night. And, there's no other reason for a doctor to call you that late in the evening unless something's wrong. So, yeah, she told me that I have cancer. It kind of felt like my world stopped for a minute, because you never think that you're going to hear that you have cancer. And it was pretty emotional. I internalized a lot of stuff, so I tried not to show the emotions way too much to people. I don't want people to pity me or feel sorry for me. So it's not easy to tell people. Okay. So after the diagnosis, I was to go have a MRI to see if it had spread. So I went and had my MRI. It was a Sunday, and it was awful. I don't have any meat on my butt. It's just butt bone back there, and I was just laying on the hard table by myself, of course, with this mask on, very hard to breathe for 45 minutes. It was pretty excruciating, but I mean, it wasn't painful. It was just very uncomfortable. So then I waited for days and days and days for the MRI to come back, and I never heard anything. And then I got a phone call from radiology. Thought it was my results. No, they wanted me to come in for a second MRI. This one wasn't as bad as the first one, at least. So it only lasted about 20 minutes. So we did that, and I was still just waiting and waiting. And funny thing is, my first cousin, my uncle's daughter, was also diagnosed with cancer through the same doctor. So she was scheduled to have a hysterectomy, and I took her to the hospital, and so I was her contact. So when the doctor, my doctor, her doctor, was finished with surgery, she called to tell me everything went okay. She asked me how I was doing, and I was like, oh, well, physically I'm okay. Mentally, I'm having a hard time. My results still haven't came back. And she let me know that she had the results, but she didn't want to discuss it over the phone. So, of course, I'm thinking the worst. Everybody's telling me it's okay, because if it was really bad, she would have told you, right? And I'm like, I don't know. So that was on a Wednesday. I was scheduled to see her the next Thursday. So not the next day, but the next Thursday for my post-op appointment. And so that was Wednesday. Then Sunday, I woke up and checked my email, and I had a notification that a test result had been uploaded to my patient portal. So I go to it, and I hadn't done any other tests, so I knew it had to be the MRI. And I look at it, and of course, it's all medical jargon, lingo. I don't know what it's saying. So I had to ask Dr. Google what it meant. And Dr. Google told me that I was in stage 1 and that it had not spread outside of my uterus, which that was what I was so scared of. I'm not scared of having surgery because that's just what needs to happen. But I was so afraid that it had spread to other parts of my body. And I had been so deep in depression for 2 weeks thinking that it had spread outside of my uterus, and maybe it was in my bladder and my colon. I was so scared. But I mean, I've never felt the kind of happiness that I felt when I read that it did not spread outside of my uterus. Okay, so fast forward to the doctor's appointment. The post-op appointment. She does the exam. Everything's fine. I've been in a lot of pain since I got the Mirena put in. She said it was normal. I really want this thing out because it's been causing a lot of pain in my pelvic area. But anyway, so she says, yes, it has not spread outside. As far as we can tell, there's just something else I got to say, but it has not spread outside my uterus, which is a really good thing. She gave me 2 options. The first option was a hysterectomy, which I had already come to terms with the fact that I was going to have a hysterectomy anyway. So that was kind of like that was my option. Like, yes, that's what we're going to do. Then she said the second option is that the MRI said that the cancer had spread through the muscle of my endometrium, but her biopsy says otherwise, that it's just contained in like one area. She said that if it is contained in one area, I could just keep the Mirena in, and that should reverse the cancer, and I wouldn't need surgery right now. I would eventually need surgery because it doesn't cure it. It just contains it. And I didn't want to do that option because right now I'm 36. I'm still relatively young and healthy. I mean, yes, I have cancer, but I don't have liver issues or heart issues or lung issues. So I figured right now would probably be the best time to do a surgery like that. So I went with the option for a surgery. So then she tells me, well, that's fine. If you don't want to have children, because if I was going to, she said the second option was mainly for people who wanted to have children, which I do want children, but I want the cancer out of my body more at this point. And even if we did that and we decided to try to help me get pregnant, I don't have a husband, a boyfriend, a fiance, or even a prospect of someone getting me pregnant right now. So, and of course there's always like the sperm bank, but I don't think that I want to go through all of that. Maybe having a baby is not that important to me, or having my own biological baby is not that important to me, because she said we would have to do several biopsies. I would have to do fertility treatments, and then I would need to get pregnant this year. That's just a lot. So I decided to do the hysterectomy. She tells me there's complications with the hysterectomy because of my size. As I said earlier, I am morbidly obese. It's something I'm working on. That's a whole different video. She said it'll probably be hard to get to my organs because I'm doing a full hysterectomy because of my weight and because of the way I carry my weight, which you can't see it, but if I'm able to, or if my cousin can help me, I'm going to try to insert a picture where you can see that I carry a lot of weight in my lower abdomen. It's called an apron, is what it's referred to. So she says that she's going to want a plastic surgeon on hand because they may have to cut the bottom part of my abdomen off where it hangs and then do the hysterectomy at the same time, in the same day, all at once. And so I have to go see a plastic surgeon. And at first I was really scared, like, you're going to cut my stomach off, which I guess is not really my stomach, it's just fat, but it sounded really scary. And then I thought about it and I'm like, maybe they should do that, because that would be pretty life-changing, to be honest, because I've lost weight and I don't think I lose weight in that part of my body. I feel like it just stays the same. So everything's kind of up in the air. I actually have my appointment with the surgeon today, the plastic surgeon rather. So I will be going to see him today and discuss, have a consultation to see what he thinks. And yeah, that's my story. That's where I'm at right now. I know I just talked for a long time all at once. So I'm going to make another video after I see the plastic surgeon and let you all know, if anybody watches this. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. Let you all know how it goes. And yeah, if you're watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe and like, as YouTubers say. And I hope you'll come back and watch my journey. Bye.